Na 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 hey ya yo, na hey ya na, na hey ya hey ya na, na na hey ya na, na 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 hey ya yo, na hey ya na, na hey ya hey ya na, na hey ya na. Hi kids, I'm Josiah Milky.
I'm Jordan Milky.
And this is our Boston Terrier dog, Tess. She's the newest member of the family, and we thought having her on camera would be a welcome surprise. It's been a while since we've been on screen together, but welcome to Disney Animation Reviews. Okay, you can let her go. We'll bring her back on at the end. Give me that. Anyway, so, geez, it feels like, what, a year and a half since we were last on together?
Maybe.
Because our last Disney Animation review, Ralph Breaks the Internet, was back in March of 2019, a month after it first came out on home video, and now we're in August 2020. So yeah, it's been almost a year and a half since Jordan and I did a review together. Actually, just a little more than a year, because we also did an Elena of Avalor review last year in July for its 3rd birthday.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, we're back for Disney Animation Reviews, so let's talk.
Okay.
Let's talk Disney. Disney's last animated feature was Ralph Breaks the Internet. Pretty good for a Wreck-It Ralph sequel.
Yeah.
It did well at the box office and got good reviews like the first one. It also received a Best Animated Feature Academy Award nomination. 2019 was a mixed bag for Disney stuff. It was largely live-action remakes like Aladdin and Lion King, and Tim Burton did a really bad live-action remake of Dumbo. We haven't seen it, but I heard it wasn't very good.
Oh.
Disney Channel also did a live-action remake of Kim Possible, which I actually did like. I will say of the live-action theatrical reviews, I did enjoy the live-action Aladdin. That one was pretty good, even if Rotten Tomatoes says otherwise. Now they did have some original stuff, like the Disney Nature film Penguins. Disney Nature had been around for 10 years up to this point, because their first movie, Earth, came out in 2009. But we haven't seen, I don't think we've seen any Disney Nature films since Monkey Kingdom, which was like 2015 or something, but we'll have to do those another time. In the meantime, 2019 was also the launch of their new streaming service, Disney Plus, which included, stuff you may know from your childhood or from the present day, your favorite Disney movies and shorts, plus original content like High School Musical, the series, which, as a series that's spun off from one of my favorite Disney Channel movies, is actually pretty good. And they also have a live-action remake of Lady and the Tramp that, for me, wasn't as good as the live-action Aladdin, but it's not as bad as some of the other ones, like Maleficent or the Tim Burton Alice in Wonderland. I will say the biggest bright spot for me of 2019 was Disney and Pixar's, the sequel no one asked for, but we still love it anyway. Disney Pixar's summer 2019 release was Toy Story 4. You'd think that after Toy Story 3 they'd be done in the toy box, but they took their time, and Toy Story 4 turned out to be a bigger hit than Toy Story 3. It was a $1 billion grossing hit, and actually ended up making even more money than Toy Story 3 and every other Pixar movie before it, except Incredibles 2, which was its direct predecessor. Toy Story 4 also won the Academy Award for Best Animated Feature, like Toy Story 3 before it. So Toy Story is now the only animated movie series so far where more than one of its movies, it's had more than one Best Animated Feature win at the Oscars.
Oh.
Our subject of today is the latest animated Disney feature from Walt Disney Animation Studios, Frozen 2. Disney's 58th animated feature film, and of course the sequel to Frozen. There's not much behind-the-scenes story on here, but the idea was they wanted to continue the Frozen story, but they didn't want to dive into a sequel right away. But the filmmakers eventually realized how much they loved these characters, so they started working on a Frozen sequel and talking about it in late 2014, during the production of the short film, Frozen Fever. They had a little bit of a snafu in late 2017 when problems John Lasseter, the CEO of Disney Animation and Pixar, was having with Woman that eventually led to him leaving the studio. So Jennifer Lee, one of the directors of the Frozen movies, was asked to be the new CEO at Disney Animation after John left, with Pete Docter taking over John's CEO duties at Pixar. Fortunately, it all worked out, with original cast and crew on board from the first movie, headed by the directors Chris Buck and Jennifer Lee, and the producer Peter Dell'Ecco. Frozen 2 was ultimately released to theaters on November 22nd, 2019. It actually was supposed to open 5 days later on the 27th, the original film's 6th birthday, but I guess they were so excited to release it, they put it in theaters 5 days before it was originally supposed to come out. And I'll never forget, you, me, Mom, Dad, our little sister Joy, and a friend of yours, we all went to see it at the Palms IMAX Theater in Waukee here in Iowa. It was our second IMAX screening. Previously, Dad, the girls, and I went to see Toy Story 4 on the IMAX screen, and both experiences blew me away more than anything I had ever seen in my life. It was absolutely fantastic. And I was also quite surprised by how well Frozen 2 did at the box office. Like the original, it was a $1 billion grossing hit, but in fact, it ended up grossing even more money than the original Frozen, becoming the highest grossing animated movie of all time. Not just Disney movie, but highest grossing animated movie. Yes,
Whoa.
The live-action Lion King made more money than Frozen 2 did at the box office. Disney doesn't count down as animated, and neither should you.
Right.
But what surprised me is that while Frozen 2 was a box office queen, it surprisingly got less positive critical reception than the first movie. Still pretty good, but it only has 77% on Rotten Tomatoes compared to the first movie's 90%. Yes, it does have problems, we'll get into those, but now that we've gone through the behind-the-scenes story of Frozen 2, let's dive into the plot synopsis. Jordan, it's all yours.
Okay. So the story begins in Anna and Elsa's childhood. They're playing Enchanted Forest, and their father, the king, tells them about his experiences in Enchanted Forest, where he ultimately met their mother, or the teenager, who ended up saving his life when the spear had attacked the Arendelians and the Northuldra. The girl's grandfather, King Runard, built them a dam. He said it was a gift of peace, but clearly something was wrong. Actually, when I saw young Aduna in the trailer, I actually thought she was Moana, because it looked a lot like her.
Nope, she's an original character. One thing I like about this opening is we get to see more of the girls' parents. And their voices, Alfred Molina and Evan Rachel Wood, pretty good for voice casting. So we get to learn more about their past, and then, after a sweet lullaby from the Queen, all is found, we jump forward to the present, which is supposedly 3 years after the original film, even though the sequel came out twice that time.
6 years. So, now all grown up, Elsa is hearing a voice.
Courtesy of Norwegian pop singer Aurora, not to be confused with Sleeping Beauty Aurora.
But no one else can hear it, and they're preparing to celebrate a fall. And we get a song, Something's Never Changed. And during this song, it's revealed after 3 years of dating, Kristoff is finally proposing to Anna.
We get to see all our favorite Frozen characters, Anna, Elsa, Kristoff, Olaf, and Sven, all with original voice actors. And the songs are just fantastic.
Yeah, although my favorite running gag is Kristoff proposing to Anna. He has everything right but the timing. He always proposes at the wrong time.
Some people complain that Kristoff is underutilized in this one, but I think his subplot is great. And later, when he sings his song about his love for Anna, Lost in the Woods,
that is a good song.
Even though Elsa's Into the Unknown, which we'll get to in a minute, is the let it go of this movie, and rightfully so because it got the Oscar nomination, Kristoff's song Lost in the Woods is my favorite song in the movie.
Yes.
Inspired by 80s power ballads from stuff like Chicago, and the singing reindeer in the song, spoiler alert, it'll remind lifelong Disney fans of the Country Bear Jamboree at Disneyland.
So that night, Elsa hears the voice again, and this is where we get her song, where she feels that every day's a little harder as I feel my power grow. Don't you know there's part of me that wants to go into the unknown?
Yep.
And then Elsa awakens the spirits of the Enchanted Forest, and they take away their fire and water, and the earth crumbles.
So now it's up to Anna, Elsa, Kristoff, Olaf, and Sven to journey north, where they meet the Northuldra and long-lost Arendellian soldiers.
Among them, Lieutenant Matthias, their father's personal guard.
And the story follows both Anna and Elsa's personal struggles. Elsa to figure out where the voice is coming from and who she truly is, and Anna having to accept that she can't always be there to protect her sister, and vice versa. Some things they have to figure out for themselves.
As you can see, I'm wearing a prop from the story, the Queen's scarf.
It's from a craft kit we got her last year for Christmas.
I didn't get it for Christmas, I got it myself.
Oh, okay, well, I can't remember everything. One thing I really like about this movie is the growing relationships. While the first movie focused primarily on Anna and Elsa was window dressing to try to fix everything in Arendelle, the sequel properly fleshes out both Anna and Elsa, as Elsa learns about the past and who she's supposed to be, and Anna learns to accept that she can't always be there to protect Elsa and vice versa. Some things they can figure out together, some things they each have to figure out for themselves. I also like that Olaf, still being the comic relief sidekick, was used just enough so that he's cute and helpful and endearing, and yet he's not too annoying.
Right.
That's the problem everybody has with Ola's Frozen Adventure is, oh, they put the comic relief sidekick in the spotlight. That
never works.
That was a bad idea. But I disagree. I personally like Ola's Frozen Adventure for being comedic and funny, but also having the heart of the movies. But here, Olaf is used just enough. His son, When I Am Older, maybe pales in comparison to his son in Summer from the first movie. Personally, it feels like something that should have gone in Olaf's Frozen Adventure. But with the voice acting, it's great. Josh Gad, as always, does a great job as Olaf.
Yes.
All the original voice cast is great. Kristen Bell, Idina Menzel. Plus, they've got new actors for new characters. One problem I have with this movie is actually the exact opposite of Toy Story 4. Whereas in Toy Story 4, they utilize the new characters amazingly well, but a lot of older characters like Buzz Lightyear and Jessie get pushed to the sidelines. Frozen 2 goes the exact opposite, where they continue to flesh out the characters we know and love, but the new characters, like the Northuldra and Lieutenant Matthias, don't get utilized enough for us to truly care about them.
Although one of my favorite moments is when Northuldra Honeymarin is showing Elsa her mom's scarf and telling her about the 4 spirits, but there's a 5th one, and Elsa remembers her mom's lullaby to help her remember. Dive down deep into
All is
her
found.
sound,
Another great.
but not too far.
This is
to be drowned.
I will say this is one of the best lullabies we've had from Disney in a while. I don't think we've had a lullaby at Disney since, like, what? You'll Be in My Heart from Tarzan?
Maybe.
The only lullabies I can think of are All Is Found, You'll Be in My Heart from Tarzan, and Baby Mine from Dumbo.
Although another one that's kind of underrated is Your Mother and Mine from Peter Pan.
Yeah, well, I don't care about that one. Anyway, I will say, so the voice acting is good, the story's pretty good, the songs are great, the animation is gorgeous.
Yes!
Seriously, this film should have gotten a nomination for Best Visual Effects. I mean, the wind, the snow, the water, the scene where Elsa's trying to cross the river to get to Ahtohallan.
And that's big in the trailer.
That was big in the teaser trailer, and it instantly took my breath away. I read the teaser trailer was the most viewed trailer in years. I think most people viewed it even more than the Incredibles 2 teaser.
Yeah. I think my favorite parts are on Elsa's new outfits.
Even though Into the Unknown is supposed to be the next Let It Go, when Elsa actually gets to Ahtohallan,
We get the song Show Yourself, when she finds out more about her past.
that one's probably even more Let It Go, because that's where Elsa gets her dress transformation. Personally, I like the new look with the lawn cape and the new silver dress, and she lets her hair down.
Yeah, that's my favorite part. Although when she's looking at her memories, some of my favorite moments are when she hears herself saying Let It Go and she gets embarrassed.
Like all the parents in the real world that are sick of hearing their kids sing that song.
And later when she sees the memory of Anna's first meeting,
Right,
she just...
well, I don't want to... Well, I wasn't going to ask for spoilers, but... Okay, so... let's see. One thing I do want to address is, for some reason, a lot of people were pushing for Elsa to get a girlfriend in this story.
Yeah, gross!
I mean, with the rise of a lot of same-sex couples in both the real world and in movies, Toy Story 4 apparently had a two-mom couple dropping one of their kids off at Bonnie's kindergarten orientation. A lot of people really wanted Elsa to have a female love interest. And the reason they didn't do that is...
Because 1 second wrong!
Well, but the real reason is because Elsa's a strong, independent woman, and she doesn't need a love interest in her life.
Nope.
But if she did get a love interest, given her relationship with Honeymaren in the forest, if she did get a girlfriend, Honeymaren was probably gonna be it.
Although in fan stuff, Elsa's often been paired with either Wreck-It Ralph or Jack Frost from
DreamWorks' Rise of the Guardians. Okay, so we're disregarding the whole Elsa love interest thing. Once again, this movie's fantastic. I understand the problems, Kristoff getting a little underutilized and not utilizing the new characters enough. Okay, now we need to address the elephant in the room.
What?
Why was Frozen 2 not nominated for Best Animated Feature at the Academy Awards?
I don't know, it just wasn't.
It feels like they're repeating ancient history, because in 2010, Toy Story 3 won Best Animated Feature and Best Original Song for We Belong Together, and was nominated for some other Oscars, including Best Picture.
Woo!
Tangled was only nominated for Best Original Song for I See the Light, but was not nominated for Best Animated Feature. And this year, they're repeating themselves. Toy Story 4 won Best Animated Feature, and was nominated for Best Original Song opposite Frozen 2's Into the Unknown. But Frozen 2 wasn't nominated for Best Animated Feature? What are they thinking?
I don't know.
Does the Academy even watch the movies before they decide what gets nominated and what doesn't get nominated? It's kinda dumb. I mean, I understand what the problems people have with this movie, but that's still no excuse for a movie as awesome as Frozen 2 not getting nominated for Best Animated Feature. I'm glad it was at least nominated for Best Original Song for Into the Unknown, but I still don't understand the Academy choices sometimes.
Me neither.
Oscar nomination or not, I think this is a worthy follow-up to the original film, and while some people have split opinions, there will be others that prefer the original. Jordan, what do you think? Which do you like better, the original or the sequel?
Probably the sequel, because it fleshes out on Elsa more, and it gives Elsa more time to know who she is and what she's meant to be. Kind of like Elena on Elena of Avalor.
True. Yeah, I think Frozen 2 is just as good as the original film, if not slightly better. I have it just above the original, so everyone has their opinions, but if you haven't seen Frozen 2 yet, make sure you watch the original first, but trust me when I say this, the sequel is awesome.
Yes.
So now let's talk about the home video release. So this film came out on Blu-ray and digital at the end of February 2020. Bonus features include outtakes from recording sessions with the actors, deleted scenes including 2 songs, a feature called Did You Know, where we get to learn fun facts about the cast and crew, 2 featurettes, one on the movie itself and the other on the score, a multi-language reel of Into the Unknown, so you get to hear the song sung in different languages.
Wow.
There's a couple of music videos for the end credits versions of Into the Unknown and Kristoff's song Lost in the Woods from Panic at the Disco and Weezer, and a couple of animation tests of Dale the Wind Spirit. Plus, for anyone who enjoys the songs and the movie, there are 2 versions of the film. The original theatrical release, and the sing-along version of the movie that you might have seen in theaters back in mid-January. We did.
Oh yeah.
So, parents, be forewarned, if you turn on the sing-along version, your kids will be singing these songs and they'll be stuck in your head for days, just like the songs in the first one.
Yep.
But the sing-along version, I think, is a fun way to enhance the experience of the movie. So, overall, any last words?
Nope.
Okay, so bottom line, while Frozen 2 does have some problems with the characters, and the story maybe has a few plot holes that didn't get resolved, the overall effect is just as good as the original film, if not slightly better in our opinions. Everyone's entitled to their opinion, no one's rankings are going to be exactly the same, no one's opinions are going to be exactly the same, but definitely check out Frozen 2 if you haven't already. Make sure you watch the original film first, but be sure to check out the sequel. If anything, just do both films as a double feature movie night, because honestly, I think you should just do both films together and you'll get double the fun.
Yeah.
Well, that's all the time we have today, kids. Remember, when you wish upon a star,
Your dreams come true.
goodbye!